example 11 on page 528, multiply square root of 5 plus square root of 7 times square root of 5 minus square root of 7. So multiplying two factors, and each factor has two terms. Okay, so example 11. Alright, assume that all expressions under radicals represent non-negative numbers. We don't have to worry because all the radicals we have, 5, 7, 5, 7, they're all a positive number. This statement just ensures that the radicals under the radicals are positive or 0, greater than or equal to 0. The radicals are not negative. So, we're given square root of 5 plus square root of 7 times square root of 5 minus square root of 7. Okay? Now, the tendency when you see this, you will take this, multiply this, take this, multiply this, take the first term of the first factor, multiply to two terms inside the second factor, okay? And then you will take the second term in the first factor, multiply both terms inside the second factors using the form methods, which is fine, it's correct. You can do that. But for this example, because if you notice that we're given square root of 5 plus square root of 7, multiply square root of 5 minus square root of 7. So they are the same, right? Root 5, root 7, root 5, root 7, and opposite side. If you recall, we learned the formula called difference of squares. That is, when you have a squared minus b squared, you can factor this to a minus b times a plus b. Okay, we learned this formula earlier, a while back. So a minus b times a plus b equal to a squared minus b squared. So ab, right? And then ab, right? Opposite side. Do you see that what we got there is ab plus ab minus. So we're given in this form on the right hand side. So instead of FOIL, you can use this formula on the left hand side. Okay? If you FOIL, you would have four terms. After you multiply all these terms out, you have four terms, and then you have to combine if they have like radical of multiplication radicals, and then simplify the four terms. But if you use this formula, all you need are two terms instead of four terms. So either way, you should get the same answer using the form methods or this formula. I will use this formula here. So I will have a squared. A is square root of 5, right? So square root of 5 is a, just square it, minus b squared. B is square root of 7. Square it. Now, when you multiply square root of 5, when you square it, it's equal to 5. Okay? And again, when you take square root of 7 and you square it, you would get 7. Now, if you don't see it, you can take this out. If you don't see this, you can work this on the side. Square root of 5 square is equal to square root of 5 times square root of 5, okay? Which is equal to square root of 5 times 5. Because multiplication, right, of two radical, you only need to check the index. Because these have the two have index as 2, right here, square root, you can combine them and then multiply the radicals. So you have square root of 5 squared. And again, because 5 squared, the exponent 2 match with the index 2, that means you can simplify this by moving the 5 outside of the radical, which is 5. And that's what we got here. square root of 5 squared is 5. And for this, you can use the same methods and you would get the same answer. But I'm going to show you a different way when I simplify this. Okay, so for this, if you recall, we learned how to convert the radical using the formula a raised to the n power, take the n root, is equal to a m divided by n, right? So we have here 7, and 7 raised to the first power, right? So you can treat this as 7 as a, 1 as m, and the n root is square root, which is k equal 2, right? Or n equal 2 right here. So to go from here to here, we would have 7, which is a, right? 7, m here, which is 1, divide by n. N is the index 2 right here, which is 2. Okay? So we're writing the square outside. Now because this is exponent 1 divided by 2, and this is also the exponent, you can multiply the two exponent. So you take 1/2 multiplied by 2. Again, 1/2 times 2 is 1, right? So 1/2 times 2 is 1, so you have 7 raised to the first power. Okay? And 7 raised to the first power is itself, which is 7. So that means when you take the square root 7 and you raise to the second power, it equals to 7. So either you can see it straightforwardly and get the answer. You don't see it, just work out either way. You can try this way, or you can try this way. Okay? So square root of 7, you square it, you get 7. So that's why I have 7 here. And then simplify. 5 minus 7 is -2. So the answer is -2 for simplifying the two factors.